So like it's kind of late. It's like 12:30 a.m. We're doing this on my blog here. So listen, y'all, listen. Are you listening? Everyone, and I mean everyone, needs to watch What the Health on Netflix. No, they're not paying me, but like I would gladly be a brand ambassador for this documentary because it's honestly the best documentary out here right now. And if you haven't seen it, you should really have FOMO because you're missing out. You, my friend, are missing out. I apologize if I'm talking kind of low. Like we said, it's 12:30, so you know I live with people and I'm trying to keep it down. But I really want to scream. That's how excited I am. I just finished watching it. Thing about this one is this documentary that I personally think is so great, and the reason I like really recommend it because I've seen Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy, Earthlings. Those are like my top 3. I always recommend to people who are considering going vegan, like watch those documentaries. Still watch those. Those are still all great documentaries. This one in particular, one because it's so recent, it came out 2017, just came out on Netflix, and the reason I think it's so bomb is because I think people a lot of times when it comes to this vegan stuff are like, oh, animal rights, and like obviously I'm team animal rights, but there are people, sick people in this world who are like ignorant and don't give a fuck. Not saying that's fine, but like, okay, think like that. But this documentary literally doesn't even go there. I mean, it does actually. It does go into animal rights for sure at one point, but it's not one of those gruesome showing you how the pigs get fucking mutilated and raped and all that. I mean, although that is very important, I think because it doesn't go into that, it's even more powerful. It's just so good. This isn't coming from a biased vegan either, because I told one of my friends who is a omnivore to watch it, and he's like, I'm literally cleaning out my fridge like as we speak, because that's crazy. Because here's the thing about this documentary that is so bomb. Also, what do I look like? The thing with my generation is like, ignorance is bliss, but we also, millennials, really want to be our own bosses and do our own thing, and we don't like commitments, and we're very like, I don't know what the word is, but I feel like conspiracies and like going against authority and regulations is like a thing for us. And I think what's really bomb about this documentary, can I get to it already? Because I've been saying that so much, is that it shows you how crazy the cycle of this vicious food industry is, and how like food is way bigger of a deal than we grew up to know it as. I don't want to like spoil it or ruin it for anybody, but it just really goes in on how, you know, American Heart Association literally is sponsored by Domino's, various other companies that make heart disease happen. It's literally all about money and nothing about health. I just love how detailed it was, for one, and how it like thoroughly explained things that I think a lot of people like have trouble understanding. Like when people hear about protein and they hear about fiber and they hear all these words, like no one really knows what they mean and what they're doing in our bodies, and I feel like it like thoroughly, without being too much, you know, scientific terminology, really broke down like what happens when you eat an egg or whatever. Like an egg is equivalent to 5 cigarettes, like shit like that you're like, what, how? But like, it is. Eggs are not healthy. Stop saying they're healthy. Just the documentary I just want so many people to see, because we're so like, ignorance is bliss. We're just like, oh, well, I feel good, I look good, I'm happy, I'm skinny. Like, just because, you know, whatever your definition of looking good is, you know, whether that be skinny, fat, whatever, and you might be on an animal-based diet, your insides are literally crying for you to stop doing what you're doing. Like, it's really crazy how far away we've gotten from like common sense. All the protein in the animals is from plants. What do you think cows eat all fucking day? What, guys? Like, the fact that the protein thing is such a big conversation in the vegan world is like mind-blowing. I don't want to give too much away, because I feel like I want you to have that mind-blown feeling that I think I had the first time I watched one of these kind of documentaries. I think the first documentary I watched when I was like in my transitioning phase of going vegetarian to vegan was Earthlings, and that one will make you cry if you have a soul. If you don't have a soul, I don't know. Another really important thing I think it said in it that I kind of want to talk about real quick. I don't want this to be too long, and I'm sorry if I keep looking at myself also. Another really important thing, I put it on my Snapchat because I loved it that much. Like, it was just such a good line. I forget the doctor's name. Something along the lines, he says like, you know, we wanted minimize all of this like body shaming and fat shaming and like make it okay to be fat, but we're making it okay to be sick if we're making that okay. Fat isn't healthy. Sorry, not sorry. There's no way you can tell me that it is. It's not a matter of like shaming people that are fat, but like we as a society can't make that okay. Like that can't be like, oh, that one's fine. That person's sick. They're inflamed. They're literally so inflamed it's physically showing. That's the thing about inflammation that I think a lot of people don't understand, is that maybe you aren't fat, but inflammation starts somewhere. All diseases stem from inflammation and mucus. Just because you may not look unhealthy doesn't mean you aren't unhealthy. I don't know why there's such a big disconnect there. It just feels really good to watch a documentary that like focuses more on how fucked up the industry is. Like it definitely tells you like how shitty the health part of these foods are, like how terrible meat is for you and animal products as a whole. Definitely goes there, but I love that it went to, you know, how American Cancer Society or whatever, and then the breast cancer stuff and all of those societies and associations that raise all this money to literally be supported by the companies that cause cancer and cause heart disease and cause all these things. It's literally a vicious cycle of just people getting paid and Americans dying and hospitals staying open and getting paid because nobody really gives a fuck about people's health. And that's why it's like, own your health, take charge. Like I hate the excuse of like, well, it's gonna happen anyway. Like, me stopping, what's that gonna do? Actually, veganism, plant-based diets, whatever label you want to call it, have been on such a rise in the past 2 years. A movement has to start somewhere. And like for you to just be ignorant and be like, well, meat change is not gonna stop a cow from getting killed. Like actually it is. Like if you do it, if more people do it, if more people do it, like the demand for that shit will be lower because nobody wants it. It's all supply and demand. It just makes sense. Like I hate that excuse. It just makes sense. Stop denying the truth. The truth hurts. I know it does. I know it does. Just think about it. Just open that door. That's the first step. If you watch that documentary and still continue to eat animal products, you're a psychopath. I don't want to associate with you anymore. Like, no. I can't even think of like a reason where you'd be like, well, I just don't care. Like, you just don't care? You just don't care. I don't know if I want to be friends with people like that. Is that wrong? I'm sorry. But like, you don't even care about your own life. I've ranted about this. I will link that rant somewhere because I went off one day on people because I just couldn't understand the ignorance. All right, I'm done ranting. This is it. That's all. Seriously, check out What the Hell. Super, super good documentary. Even eye-opening for me, who's been a vegan for about a year, and that's not a long time, but still eye-opening for me because I didn't realize how many sponsors American Heart Association and all those other things that people throw their money to at the cash register. I didn't realize how many of them were shit. I already didn't believe in those things, but now it's like, whoa. All right, that's it, that's all. Anyone who has seen What the Health, or you know, if you go watch it or whatever, hit me up, DM me. Let's talk about it in the comments, whatever. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Let's talk about it because it's really, really worth the watch. I promise you. Like, an hour of your day, hour and a half, however long it is really worth it. Okay, I'm done preaching. This crazy vegan is gonna go to bed now. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.